Welcome to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. Mr. Barber is a preacher, a ventriloquist, a barefoot runner, and writes 2 blogs. When Jerrie communicates, he encourages people, try not to learn very much. Find a mustard seed. In the next few minutes, try not to learn very much. Look for something you can do to move a mountain, remove a stumbling block, or provide a stepping stone for yourself or someone else. And now, here's Jerrie with this week's mustard seed.
I call this new series we started last episode, I Love Criticism, but Not Too Much. To get a better context for this and following episodes, listen to episodes 12 through 17. In the last podcast, we listened to Jesus when he taught how to deal with an abusive, overbearing, and demanding person. Take 2 slaps, give 2 gifts, walk 2 miles, treat people right who treat you wrong regardless of how you feel. But are the slaps, gifts, and carrying the loads unlimited? Do I have to stand still while someone beats me to death 1 slap at a time? Do I empty my retirement account emergency fund, deed over my house, and transfer the title of my cars to an evil, wicked, malicious person? Must I obey the commands of an enemy to carry his load from here to California? No. Jesus knew how to use big numbers as well as small. He told Peter to forgive a person not 7 times, but 490 times. The amounts owed in the following parable after that discussion were 10,000 talents, which were 160 years of wages, $226 million, versus 100 days' wages, $10,000 to $20,000. Jesus knew how to use big numbers and small numbers. In Matthew 5, the prescribed abuse was 2 slaps, 2 gifts, 2 miles. But why should I take a second insult? Perhaps to assure myself and others I'm not being overly sensitive. I don't need to be easily hurt, where I get defensive to every slight, even when it isn't meant to be that. But there is a limit. Jesus uses the number 2, not to be exact, but to say it's limited. I need to set boundaries on the hurt I permit others to impose. Then after that, what do? 2 visits, 2 witnesses, 2 warnings. Don't let that person hurt you anymore. First, make 2 visits. Matthew 18, 15, and 16. Jesus said, "If your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he listens to you, you have gained your brother. But if he does not listen, take 1 or 2 others along with you, that every charge may be established by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses." Which brings up the next 2 witnesses. We just read that. Paul amens that in dealing with elders in 1 Timothy 5:19. Do not admit a charge against an elder except on the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. He adds the next 2 in Titus 3:10 and 11, 2 warnings. As for a person who stirs up division, after warning him once and then twice, have nothing more to do with him. Knowing that such a person is warped and sinful, he is self-condemned. Jesus had a rule, 3 strikes and you're out. Paul said that if a person is causing division, 2 strikes and you're out. I've had many people say to me, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't like conflict. I don't like to talk with other people that way. Christianity isn't designed to make us comfortable. It's taught to make us Christ-like. Our hope is in our pain. Pain can be productive. Paul wrote in Romans 5:3-5, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame. James, amen that in James 1:2-4. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kind, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. For pain to be productive, it's helpful if we can have these three characteristics. 1, anticipated. Have you suffered pain in your life? Would you like to know if there will be more pain in your future? Here's a rule of thumb that I've noticed. If your mother was a woman, you're going to suffer more pain. Anticipate it. More pain is coming. How do I know? The Bible tells me so. Job 14:1. Man who is born of a woman is of few days and full of trouble. If your mother was a woman, you'll have trouble. 2, pain to be most helpful needs to be chosen, or at least our attitude toward it. It is wise and righteous to choose pain when the pain is part of doing the will of God. Jesus said in John 10:17-18, for this reason the Father loves me, because I laid down my life that I may take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of my own accord. I have authority to lay it down, and I have authority to take it up again. This charge I have received from my Father. Pain to be helpful is best when it's managed. Jesus asked for the pain to be removed if it could be done according to God's will. Matthew 26:39, and going a little farther, he fell on his face and prayed, saying, my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. If it's necessary to do God's will in the pain, I can rest in the assurance that God will eventually make things right. What Jesus taught in Matthew 5 teaches us to manage our pain inflicted by others. I'll go out of my way to get along with others. 2 slaps, 2 coats, 2 miles. I'll make 2 visits and take 2 witnesses, but no one has permission to continue to abuse me. There's a limit. Melanie Beatty wrote in her book, Codependent No More, as we grow and change, we may want to change our boundaries too. Here are some examples of boundaries common to codependents who are recovering. I will not allow anyone to physically or verbally abuse me. I will not knowingly believe or support lies. I will not allow chemical abuse in my home. I will not allow criminal behavior in my home. I will not rescue people from the consequences of their alcohol abuse or other irresponsible behavior. I will not finance a person's alcoholism or other irresponsible behavior. I will not lie to protect you or me from your alcoholism. I will not use my home as a detoxification center for recovering alcoholics. If you want to act crazy, that's your business. But you can't do it in front of me. Either you leave or I'll walk away. You can spoil your fun, your day, your life. That's your business. But I won't let you spoil my fun, my day, or my life. In the next episode, we will conclude this series. I love criticism, but not too much.
Thank you for listening to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. If you found a mustard seed, send a text or email with the link to a friend. This podcast was brought to you by Jerrie's book, Between Preachers, You Can Grow Through Interim Ministry. Dale Jenkins wrote in the introduction, While Jerrie has written the only book I know by a member of the Church of Christ on interim ministry, the excellent principles in this book could be used as a book on healthy moving, or healthy leader-minister relations, or a book for every Christian on healthy living. I'd encourage you to get one for every elder you know. You can order your book from Amazon. There will be a link in the show notes. Thank you for listening. Jerrie looks forward to next week as we continue to collect and plant mustard seeds.